Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
So to set the game is very easy. You're going to put all the marbles in there except for one of the reds. You'll place your wagons back here on the player order. You'll have your 3 supply cards after shuffling and have that set up. You'll have each of your upgrades over here in their stacks. You will shuffle up the fate cards. You will shuffle up the town squares. You'll take one of these, so if you're playing a 4-player game, number of players -1, which will be set over here for end of game. And then your scoring markers will be right here. Then you are going to take your starting cards that you're going to have. You're going to shuffle these up, and you're going to draw 4 as your starting hand. And this will be your hand limit throughout the game, unless you get an upgrade that will break the rules. On your turn, the first thing you're going to do is take the marble machine here, and you're going to move 3 marbles down. This is going to happen on every single player's turn, as you're going to take 3 marbles out. Wherever they land is where they land. Now, if you get a red one that will come out, you'll put it right back in here after taking the fate card and do whatever it says. All players draw 1 card from their deck. Most of these will be negatives. You can see, remove all other marbles from the mine shaft with the fate marble, then run 3 extra marbles. So these will do different things. Only if the red card, you will take care of the card and then put the red one back in there. As the game progresses, you'll see the marbles are seeding the board. On your turn then, you can play as many of these cards as you want from your hand. Anything you don't want to play, you can either, let's say I play all 3 of these, I can keep this for the next turn or discard it and I'll draw back up to 4. These icons are going to do different things. So anything with a wagon on it is simply going to move your wagon. And the number of spaces is signified by these coal markers that are right here. So this one would allow me to move 1 space. When I'm at that space, I can utilize both icons in any order that I want to. This will allow me to take a water off, put it back in here, but it will also give me 1 free town token. So I have this town token, and I can put it on my over here. Now the most town tokens I can have is 5, so keep that in mind as you're collecting these. Then when I've used this, I put it in my discard pile. The train icon is very easy. It allows me to upgrade to buy one of these. And by buying it, I just take any of the 3 I want, put them on top of my discard pile, and then a new card will come out. Once again, it allows me to move, so I can move an additional space. The next card I want to play has a movement of 1 and has a pan on it. What it's going to let me do is move 1. Now, if I have this icon, if there is water in my location, which there is, I can take either an ore or a good and just throw it right in my wagon. And then this would go in my discard pile. That card will be in contrast to this icon. This icon only allows me to take the gold or the ore out of the place if there is no water. There is water in this location, so I wouldn't be able to take any of it from there. Now, let's pretend that I was here and I was going to play this card. I could simply take that gold and put it in here because there's no water. So that's going to be the main difference between these 2 cards. One will allow me to take items with water. The other one is without water. Now this one also gave me an option here, as you can see, or discard to move. So I could have done this option at the top, or simply just discarded this to move 1 space. Some of the action cards you have will just have extra movement on it. In this case, I can move 2. When I return to town, which is where I am at now, I can then trade these in. Now, I'm going to add a brown just to signify how these different works. So basically, the gold is worth 2, and the browns, which is raw materials, is only worth 1. So if I was to cash these in, I would get 2, 4, 5. Each one I could cash in for 2 points. So let's say I just wanted to cash that gold in. I could simply take 2 points. But let's say the other ones I want to cash in, this 2, I could take an additional 2 points, or I could take 2 of these town tokens and add it to the one I already got for disposing of water. And the last one is worth 1. I could simply take 1 point if I wanted to, or I could take an additional town token. Let me just say I'm going to go ahead and take that point and I put that back in there. Then I can do is I can buy an upgrade. I could buy one of these upgrade tokens. They all have different prices. This one is 3. This one costs 2. And there's a couple of them that will cost 4. And I simply give up my town tokens in order to pay for it. So if I wanted to buy the one that was worth 3, I get my 3 town tokens, and I could simply purchase this upgrade. It would go on my card. The maximum I can have is 3, but it would give me an ongoing power. This one says raw and gold counts equal. So remember how the ore was only worth 1 and gold was worth 2? If I have this upgrade, they're both worth 2. This one allows me to use those 2 icons I showed you interchangeably, so it no longer matters whether there's water there or not. This one right here allows me to have 5 cards in my hand instead of 4. It's very handy earlier in the game. And this one with the train on it, when I bought those cards, if you remember, it had to go to my discard pile. With this upgrade, they go directly into my hand. I like this one quite a bit. When you have this one, remember when I told you that I bailed water out of here with that icon? I got 1 town token. This one allows me to get 2 town tokens for that privilege. And then the last one's the big claim. Pick and pan at nearby shafts. Well, what does that mean? That means if I'm here, I could always go where I'm at, or I could go to 2 adjacent locations. So it gives me more of a stretch here. Maybe I don't have the movement to go where I need to go. I can pull from the adjacent locations. Remember, maximum you can have is 3 of those, and once you get a 4th one, you have to discard 1 of those. The other option I have is I could buy these town shares. Each town share, you just buy the top one. It costs 2 town tokens, but they could potentially be worth 1, 2, or 3 victory points. It's just something else that you can do. As the game progresses, your score marker will go up. As soon as somebody clears 20 or lands on 20, then everybody else will get 1 turn, and you'll divvy up your scores. For the privilege of being the first person done, you will get to look at all 3 or as many towns as there are, pick the one that you want, preferably the one worth the most points, put it face down in front of you, and then the other 2 are optional for other people if they happen to cross that mark. Then, at the end of the game, you will add, because these are hidden scoring, add at the end of the game however many points you have, and that will be your final score. And that's an overview of how to play Big Thunder Mountain.